Part 2. The Wife Who No Longer Loves. There's a truth many men never realize. A woman doesn't leave when she falls out of love. She stays in silence until her heart is completely dead. And when that happens, all boundaries of right and wrong begin to lose meaning. She walked into the room with the posture of someone exhausted, not the kind of tired after a long day, but the kind of exhaustion from years of enduring. Her eyes were empty, no anger, no resentment, no tears, just nothing left. When a woman still cries, still complains, still argues, it means she still cares. But when she becomes that silent, everything has already ended long ago. I don't love him anymore. She said it so softly, so soft that if you weren't paying attention, you might miss it. But that softness sends chills down your spine, because it's not an impulsive emotion. It's the conclusion of a long process, a process where she once hoped, waited, tried, and then slowly gave up. No one knows exactly when her love died. Maybe it was the first time she was ignored when she needed care the most. Maybe it was the cold dinners, while the man beside her was glued to his phone. Maybe it was the long nights she stayed awake, while he turned his back and slept peacefully. Or maybe it was hundreds, thousands of small things piling up, until nothing could be saved. Do you think infidelity is the cause of a broken marriage? No. In many cases, infidelity is the result, the inevitable outcome, of a marriage that has already died from within. She didn't leave, not because she still loved him, but because she wasn't allowed to. There were children, there was family, there were invisible ties that outsiders would never understand. Divorce isn't just between two people, it's an explosion that affects an entire system. And she wasn't cruel enough to trigger it, but staying was no longer living. Have you ever imagined that feeling? Living next to someone who once meant everything, but now feels like the most distant stranger, talking like strangers, eating like to shadows, sharing a house, but not a world. That's not a marriage. That's a form of existence, prolonged in exhaustion. And then, that man appeared. No warning, no noise, no grand promises. He didn't come to destroy her family. He just came at the moment she was most vulnerable. He listened, truly listened. No interruptions, no judgment, no dismissing her feelings as something small. And that alone was more than enough. You need to understand something crucial. A woman can endure lacking many things, but she cannot endure being invisible. And when someone makes her feel seen, everything begins to change. At first, it was just conversations, simple check-in messages, seemingly harmless talks. She didn't think it would go any further. She just wanted someone to understand her, that's all. But emotions are uncontrollable. The more they talked, the more comfort she felt, the more she was cared for, the more she realized how long she had been deprived of it. And then one day, she realized that man made her feel alive again, not through grand gestures, but through the little things her husband had long forgotten, asking if she was tired, remembering what she liked to eat, caring about her feelings, not just her role as a wife. And her husband? Still the same, still busy, still indifferent, still unaware that he was slowly losing the woman beside him. The scariest part is, he had no idea when he had already lost, not to another man, but to his own neglect. She knew she was wrong. She didn't deny it, but she didn't regret it the way people might think. Because in that forbidden relationship, she found something she thought she had lost forever. The feeling of being loved, but the price was not cheap. Every time she returned home, seeing her husband, seeing her children, she lived in two worlds. One was reality, one was a secret, one was responsibility, one was emotion. And what scared her the most wasn't being discovered by her husband. It was her children's eyes. If one day they knew the truth, if one day they looked at her with disappointment, everything would collapse. You see, infidelity has never been simple. It's not a bad choice from the beginning. It's the result of hundreds of wrong choices before it. If you are in a relationship, ask yourself, when was the last time you truly listened to your partner? When was the last time you made them feel loved? Or are you also slowly turning them into a shadow, like the man in the story? Because no one leaves for no reason. They only leave after staying too long in loneliness. If this story feels real, painful, and worth reflecting on, Hit like so more people can see this truth. And subscribe now because part 3 will shock you even more. When infidelity doesn't come from a lack of love, but from suffocation inside a seemingly perfect marriage. Because some marriages look peaceful on the outside, but inside, they are quietly breaking apart day by day.